hate to be the one to break it to you, but sex education of the past failed us. Because birds and bees, they don't fuck. Welcome to Birds and Bees Don't Fuck, a show where we learn exactly how bad our formative sex education, or lack thereof, really was. I'm your host, Ariel Zucker. My guest today is a producer, director, and writer who runs on well-timed snacks. Please welcome to the show, Ariel Zucker.
Hi.
I don't remember exactly how I discovered you. Probably through Ify, because Ify's a friend of mine. He was on the show. He was on
Ify.
season. I think actually he closed season 1. Oh, that's so fun! That's
I love
so
Ify.
cute.
Wait, he closed and now I'm.
Yes.
Aw,
Oh,
Ify. Shout out to Ify.
We love you.
Yes.
I'm gonna link his episode below because it was great. That's like how we became friends. And
I gotta listen to that one.
Yeah,
oh my god, he's a blast. I produced one of his seasons of them actually.
Yeah,
so that's like
so-
how we got to know each other through that.
I don't know if it's. I imagine that's how you just wound up on my feed in some way, and I was like, "What?"
I did a double take. I was like, "Is this another impersonation of
Yes!
the situation?" Because you got to be like on the lookout. Like
Sure.
people are just like taking people's photos and stuff. But
Mhm.
no, we do such similar stuff.
Yes,
I was like, "What the heck?
That's
Like,
what I
you're
was like,
already
this
out here in the
doesn't make
world."
sense. We need to start a production company. is
I know,
what I'm
actually,
saying. I'm
it's
like,
it's already
actually,
so easy
yes.
because our names are already lined up.
It's just there. We have a logo. We have multiple logos.
We have multiple logos.
We already signed our names the same way.
And it turns out, exactly, we're signing our names the same way.
we're both lefties.
Yes, we're both lefties. We could honestly just like save the paper. Like we can save the paperwork.
Yeah,
we can
it's
save our
fine.
money, and we just already have a company.
That's
up.
it. We
Great.
exist.
Great, done.
AZ.
You heard it here first.
I don't even know where to begin. I'm just so fucking delighted that you exist.
Aw, me too. We need more of us in the world.
We do.
Because you spell your name the way I pronounce my name,
yeah.
Arielle, and I don't spell it that way, and so I'm always correcting people. But I'm just telling people it's like the letters, like R-E-L.
Yes, same.
You know? Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Shut
I
up.
do the same thing. So when I was little, I very much thought that my name was spelled R-E-L. So then I would write my name down as Arielle because that makes sense. Arielle, right?
Yeah.
So a nickname became like Rel or Relly. Like that was stuff that happened. But my mom was like, "Oh, you sweet child, there are so many more letters than that."
What gets me is that you go through this life and you think you have an original experience. And you don't. It actually turns out there's somebody living the exact same experience as you. Nothing's original. And that's beautiful and terrifying all at once.
There actually is one other person in the world who has my exact name, who spells it the exact same way.
Shut up.
And I know this because I had to make sure I got the Instagram and all that shit.
Yeah.
I actually did. I think it was, I think it may have been the Instagram that I had to like message her for or something.
Oh, really?
There was something that I remember having to message her. She never messaged me back,
Brutal.
but she did release it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
She said this doesn't require conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we appreciate that. Thanks, Ariel.
There are some Ariel Zuckers out there, but one of them is very smart. I believe she's an engineer. And like, I don't know. She was at University of Michigan. Ariel Zucker, if you're watching this, I admire you. And she's doing much smarter things than I've ever done with my life, where I'm just like silly in entertainment.
Well, listen. Being silly in entertainment is very important.
I'm going
to let this dog out, and we're going to deal with whatever sounds come from outside.
Aww.
She runs my life.
Aww.
God. Are you okay? Okay, well, are we still plugged in?
We're off to a great start.
We are doing so well. And we're back. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for those, I don't know how much of that's going to wind up staying in, but everything just came down. Rosie truly rules this show.
Yeah. And we are just her humble servants.
Truly. Oh my God. Also, she's old now. So like,
oh, how old?
She's 13. So like,
respect your elders, Ariel.
You know, that's what it is. Like, I have to respect my elders.
Yeah, you do.
And she rules my life.
Because in dog years, that's like,
100. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't do math.
That's like, I was gonna say like 84, but yeah, like 100. Yeah.
The funny thing about that statement is that I love doing production math. I fucking love doing production math. I love, so producer AD. So when it comes to like playing with a budget, ooh, give me a number and see what we can do and see how much we can save and see where we can go and what ooh,
it is
so
very
juicy.
satisfying.
But I fucking hate math. But I'm like, it's all formulas.
Oh,
though.
I was saying this to somebody the other day. It's different. It's not like real math. I wasn't good at algebra.
No.
What I'm good at is money math.
Yes, that's very good at money math.
Different. And
So
maybe if you'd framed it that way, maybe I would have thrived in school.
Yeah. And it's like creative money math too, because you're like, okay, well, we want to do X, Y, Z, but we only have this, but like this is going to cost this much, but also like we can shave something here. Like we can adjust this scene here. We could do that. Or like, do we really need that? Like it's so intertwined. Like the money is fun.
Well, it's a good way to establish your values because for me, I would rather pay people to do the thing that they are good at. Yeah. And then they can figure out how to, you know, make it work with the resources that they have. Because I'd rather pay people well and have good people on set to work with limited resources than have all the toys and all of the extravagance and then people who don't quite know what to do with it. You know, plus people appreciate that more. Like when they're getting compensated fairly, they can work with restraints from there. And we're all working creatively these days, from the biggest budgets to the smallest ones.
Yeah, the biggest budgets are not what they used to be. And I have never been a producer that would take it away from people. I'm like, okay, this is the tiny budget that we have to work with. Okay, well, this is how much it's going to cost for the people that we need. Now, what do we have left? Like,
exactly.
I will make deals with any camera house, with any rental property, with any prop house. Like, y'all, yes, you have your people to pay as well. But like, if you're going to be on set with us for 12 hours a day or whatever it is, you need to get compensated first and foremost. And we can all make magic together because we are scrappy.
Come to AZ Productions, where we will take care of your needs.
Ding! But I will say also, as I became a health coach, it also changed the way that I produced. And it changed the way that I thought about the foods that we're serving on set, and that I thought about how we start a show. And as an AD as well, my favorite thing is when a director's like, hey, can you do that breathing thing? And like, I'll start off a day. And I've done this as an intimacy coordinator.
What's the breathing thing?
I'll get sometimes in a safety meeting or like coming back from lunch or just like whenever the energy is like really, really high, we will come together as a crew and we'll do a little bit of breathing and we'll calm our nervous systems. So we can get on the same page. We can get online. It also makes it safe to take a beat.
Yeah. It's giving Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
Because Chloe Zhao, you know, director of Hamnet and just incredible, and the third woman to ever win a Golden Globe for Best Director, she leads meditations daily. And especially in difficult scenes. She leads in meditation, like to get in and out of the scene. And it's kind of probably underestimated because it's a time suck, you know, to do that kind of thing. But how incredibly valuable, and in a way to ground you in what we're actually doing, which is playing pretend professionally. And
I say that too.
We're not saving,
I say that
you know,
too.
It's not the pit. We're not like actually saving lives. We're not cutting anybody open. You know, we have space to take time.
Yeah. And it's important that we do. And I did that the most when I was ADing for Kevin Smith. He's fantastic. I absolutely adore him.
Okay, name drop.
Yeah, I know. I got to get him on the show. But I say that because he was one of my absolute favorite directors to work with, because he was doing everything that we're talking about. Yeah. He empowers his teams. He trusts his teams, and he allows for that space. And he'd be like, hey, let's do a little breathing exercise. Let's do it.
I love that.
Yeah. And I used him as a little bit of like a gold standard director, because I'm like, and we also, the project that we were working on was also with students. It was Kilroy was here, and it was interesting because we had like the professionals and the department heads, and like half departments were professionals. Yeah. And then the other half were grad students. Oh, so it was like their grad project or something like that, which is like, yeah, that's what it should be. Like,
Yeah.
you got to get on a professional set.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not a student film. This is a professional set. This is how it works.
Yeah.
So it's a really great program. I think, it was Ringling College that was
really
doing
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really, I just find that directors who prioritize people and just anybody on set, like directors, producers, ADs, like department heads, when we can prioritize the people who are behind anything, it's gonna be a better product.
Yeah.
Like,
well, this is why safety meeting is my favorite time
me too!
on the day. It's like, it's a little safety. It is about like where you are and aren't supposed to walk and what you are and aren't supposed to do. But a lot of it is just about like, this is the only time in the day where we are all going to be in the same place talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is the only time where we get a chance to like set the tone.
Yes.
And I get to see every single person gathered around. And that is a very special time in the set. You never get that. Like even at the rap party, some people can and can't be there. So it's like, I love the safety meeting. It's just a metaphor for like group gathering at the beginning of the day.
It's vibe setting.
It is a vibe set.
It's a vibe set. And I also, when I'm ADing, I really like to take people through the day and like, this is what we're doing. Like, yes, it's going to take a minute for us to get through this. And like when producers are like, the safety meeting has to be a minute, I'm like, trust me, this is going to make our day so much better.
No, it's usually the ADs who are telling me to wrap it up. Like it's you're a very different kind of AD.
I am a different, because again, like once I became a health coach, the way that I operated was so much different. And especially now that like I have intimacy coordinating and I've even done like sex education now, like it's the way I feel like all of these things have made me a better producer and director, because now I have so much more psychology and understanding about nervous systems and human behavior, food that we're putting in our bodies, what we're doing throughout these 12, sometimes 15-hour days. Like it is so much on our nervous systems.
Yeah.
And part of intimacy coordinating as well. And like all of this applies to sex, by the way. Like we're talking about production, but I see sex and production as like one and the same.
I mean, you're talking about telling people what to expect. You're setting a tone. You're setting a vibe. It's
making it safe to breathe.
You know,
take a beat. Yeah. It is.
Do you meditate before sex?
No, maybe sometimes.
It's kind of what you're describing a little bit.
I mean, I do take deep breaths. Like I am a very like deep breather. Like,
shouldn't we all?
Shouldn't we all? Seriously, slow it down. Take deep breaths.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Yeah, and I mean, especially when you feel. I've done this a lot with intimacy coordinating when I feel like the energy in the room, because I as an AD, I get to observe a lot as well, which I love. But especially as an intimacy coordinator, because I'm not running the whole thing, I'm just like really watching everyone and really witnessing what's going on a set to help navigate everything. And if I just feel like the urgency is high, the tension is high, the energy is high, I'm very receptive to energy. So like, when I can feel those things escalating, I'll just go to the AD and be like, hey, I think we just need to take a pause. Let's just all take a pause. Let's take a beat. And then we'll start shooting. And then everyone is now operating from a much more grounded space where they can embody the characters, where they can be focused on whatever it is, regardless of your department. Like, it's hard to stare at a screen all day.
Well, I was wondering if you feel this way, because having worked with intimacy coordinators and in like sex scenes and stuff, I think that shooting a sex scene is one of the least sexy
100%
times on set. And so that seems very valuable because it is very unsexy. There's like things in between to protect. It's giving fight choreography, actually.
It is, 100%. It is. That's the roots of it, is in fight choreography, and it started on stage, and that's kind of where the roots of intimacy coordinating came from. And I always tell people, I'm like, no one's trying to be like sex police. First of all, I make everything hotter. You're welcome.
Hey.
But also, it's the same as a stunt choreographer or a stunt coordinator. And it's like,
you don't just improvise a slap.
No, you don't. Whether it's on a butt or a face.
Hey. You don't improvise some of these things. It requires a lot of like technical coordination, and it's like it needs to feel very, very safe. But I have been struck by how unsexy it feels when you're doing it. And I really admire actually the actors who do it, because they are selling something that is just, it is acting with a capital A.
Yes.
because they're selling something that is not happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also like, I joke that my job is just watching bodies. By the time we're on set, I'm just watching bodies because I'm looking for body language and things that may be like, ooh, maybe something's not right. But I'm just like, that hip looks weird. That doesn't, like, anatomically, those wouldn't line up. That kiss was weird. Let's slow it down. Let's speed it up. If you do this tiny thing with your hand, it's going to tell a different story. If you do this, like, it's such nuanced stuff. Yeah. And half the time I'm just looking for, like, your butt looks weird.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm sure that the actors very much appreciate that. But as somebody who watches it, I learned a lot of what I know about sex from TV and from movies.
Yes.
That's where a lot of my information came from a lot of things in life. But we underestimate how much information we actually get from, like, television and film about these kinds of things. And so when you do something like both people fall back, like they just had the most incredible sex, no one has to pee, no one has to wipe, like,
what? Yeah,
it's
we
like,
never see condoms, we never see lube, we never see sex toys,
or just getting a towel, like, there's nothing.
The wipe down is real.
Nobody goes and pees after sex. First of all, don't get a UTI. Go
don't
pee.
get a UTI.
And, like, that's the kind of stuff that is the misinformation that when we start having sex, we're like, wait a second, like, that's not what I learned.
Yeah.
So,
and there's also no aftercare. But and I love that we're talking about, like, the after sex, because I think we're all aware of before sex. There's, like, two characters go from kissing to penetration.
Oh yeah,
that's not going to happen.
You
like,
yearn and you suddenly it's Bridgerton. You're there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that is something that Bridgerton really helped with, I think, is, like, the
passing the clit test.
Yeah, passing the clit test.
Passing the clit test.
Yes, we love that. So yeah, it is. I mean, this is a great segue into, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, where they are known for their sex education. You know, I mean, Atlanta is a dot of blue and a sea of red. It's an incredible place to grow up. It is also in Georgia. So you are affected by the state's rules of what you can and cannot discuss. And so, you know, we would be taught abstinence, and in a class where there are people who are literally pregnant.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And they're not allowed to talk to you about it any other way.
Yeah.
So yeah, TV, film, that's the only way that me and my friends learned what was going on, and, like, people talking about it realistically, like your friends talking about it.
Yeah.
And that can be dangerous, you know, because, like,
it's kids talking to kids.
It's kids talking to kids.
Literally kids talking to kids.
Because I remember, because I'm bi, and the first time that I mentioned, like, oh, I'm feeling like this girl is hot, I remember being in middle school and being like, I think she's really pretty. Or I think I used the words hot. I was like, I think she's really hot. And I remember my friends being like, ew, she's a girl. That's crazy. And it really changed the way I thought about things for a while.
Of course.
You know?
Because how could it not?
And how do they know? Like, first of all, they're kids. Like, you can't, you know, kids are kids. But, like, when you get your information from other people your age, especially at that point, and especially when it's so formative, it can be damaging.
Yeah.
So it took a while to unlearn that stuff. And as queer celebrating as Atlanta can be, you know, you're in the South.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily celebrated everywhere there. So weird place, weird dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also something to be said about girls and young girls, and how, you know, boys are mean to each other. Yes, in a psychological way, but it's more physical with them. And girls can, like, it's a scary thing to be a young girl in a group of girls and to not be accepted in any way. I was bullied in school.
Yeah.
It was bad. Like, when I went to a public school, I went to a Hebrew day school when I was younger.
Oh, me too.
Oh my God. Of course you did.
Of course you did.
Holy
because we lived the same life.
We literally lived the same life.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York.
Okay.
So also East Coast, but I lived in Florida. So I've had, as an adult, I lived in Florida. So I've had, like, the Southern experiences and, like,
the range.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I've been to Atlanta plenty of times. And it is interesting in those cities, because I lived in Tampa, St. Pete, which is generally a more blue area in a very red state. Atlanta is a very mixed city. It's not really a blue city, but there are, from what I understand, some liberal, like there are Democrats and liberal opinions there. Like it is kind of a mixed bag, maybe.
I mean, I think it's actually very, especially with Stacey Abrams and everything that she's done. It's a very liberal place, and it's a very rich place culturally. So I mean, it's hard to quantify like, oh, it's all blue, it's all red. I mean, especially these days, like you don't know where people land, but there's a lot of very open-minded, accepting people in the city.
It's urban. So it's inherently, it's kind of like, oh my God, Austin.
Yeah.
Austin, like all of these places.
That's exactly as I would put it.
It's a blue dot in a red state. So they do kind of become these safe havens.
Yeah.
And there's also like my neighborhood had so many houses with Confederate flags. In, you know, again, I was an adult, I wasn't a child, so like that's helpful. But still, it's like, okay, well, we're not going to walk on that street today, or like I see that flag, and for people in the South, they're like, it's just Southern pride. I'm like, yes, but your Southern pride, what you're calling is Southern pride, is actually rooted in racism, misogyny, murder, rape, all these things that were done to people who don't look like you and don't believe in the same things that you do. So as one of those people, I don't know who you are. Yeah. That's a scary thing to walk past.
Yeah.
So it is these places can be extremely complex because it can, and they are safe havens for queer people and anyone who's non, cis het white. And you still also see those things. And like all the billboards are about abortions that are about Jesus. And like all this shit is also just totally shoved down your throat. Yes. So it is like, it's a very mixed bag, which I think is in a way also a good experience to have.
Yeah.
You know people.
Well, especially,
it's not an idea of people.
We live in LA now.
Yeah.
And I think it can feel very safe here. I mean, obviously, if you venture out into Orange County, Beverly Hills, you start to get some of those more like MAGA folks. Yeah. But like here, especially like, more in the city, you end up getting a lot of very liberal-minded people, a lot of very accepting people, and you can start to just be in a bubble a little bit. Yeah. And I think that one thing that I'm grateful for that obviously made me feel a lot othered as a kid, but I know people who think differently and I was raised around it. And so it doesn't feel that far away, but I've always kind of had that range because then I went to school in Pittsburgh, which is a very, again, Pittsburgh is very
mixed
different
bag
than Pennsylvania.
Yes.
There's a reason it's a swing state, and you have a lot of universities, you have a lot of very educated people, and you have a lot of people that hold very strong, honestly, more, I mean, it's hard to say like more Southern views, but like a little bit of that old world view type that like you wouldn't necessarily expect because you're not fully Northeast and you're not fully like Southeast anymore. And I've had a lot of exposure to that. And I was in college when Trump won the first time. And I remember being so convinced that it wasn't going to go that way. Yeah. And then immediately, like, I remember driving home. I was like coming home from some like Democratic party and it was a very somber mood. Yeah. And then I'm driving home and then there's this guy who's like, and this is in Pittsburgh, and this is the guy like driving down a truck, like down the street with a truck. And he's like, Trump, like 2016 at the time, like Trump's 2016. He's got the flag and everything. And I was like, oh shit. Like,
okay.
Here I was thinking that I was in a bubble and I'm not. And I think that that's important for all of us to hold is that it's very easy to feel like this is how everybody thinks. And I think that goes on all sides of it. Yeah, like it's very easy to think like this is how everybody thinks. And it's just not the case. And I'm grateful to know that and to have felt that in my body. Yeah. Cause it's a tricky one to hold on to. And you still find yourself getting shocked by it at times.
Yeah, I agree. And it is something that I raise because I'm in like the kinky polyamorous lifestyle community. I work in the lifestyle community. And so it is something that I tend to remind people of like, this is a very unique experience that you are having in Los Angeles in 2026, because I mean, you can look at so many other states who are not even able to get sex education, let alone accurate sex education. Yeah. Who, I mean, I talk to people on this show who needed permission slips to get sex education, to go to the
Oh,
class.
really?
Yes. Like
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah.
I've had people on the show who were uncomfortable and their parent was allowed to take them out because they were like, I don't want to know about sex, you know? And so that's one aspect of things, but also in terms of being anywhere under the LGBTQIA plus umbrella. I just read today, and this is going to air like way later, but I just read today that trans people in Kansas just had all of their IDs invalidated, which means that they can't travel, they can't vote. That's the big one. They can't vote, they can't travel. Think about all the things that you use your ID for. So we live in such a safe and sheltered area in California, and specifically in Los Angeles, because California is a pretty red state. Like, it can be. It really can be. New York as well. Like people, because I'm from New York, and I remember going to school in upstate New York and being like, oh, this is the country.
Oh, yeah.
Like I knew it was the boonies, but like it felt like the South.
The craziest family members I have are in upstate New York.
Yes, it's wild, y'all. It's wild.
It's unexpected.
Yes.
But no, that's interesting that you bring it up because like when I was in high school, that was my experience because I was in a public high school in Atlanta, and they were like, the sex ed was not sex ed. It was preaching abstinence.
Yeah.
But when I was in a Jewish day school in middle school, they taught us, like, they separate the boys and the girls, whatever that means. And then they talk to you about like sex. They talk to you about your periods. I mean, I don't know what they were telling the boys, but they were talking to us about that and odors and all of that. And then they brought us all together and they showed us a video in a graphic detail of a woman giving birth.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
Did they do that to you?
They did that to me. I don't remember anything. I need to like survey the people. If you went to Reuben Gittleman Hebrew Day School or Clarkstown North, I need to speak to you.
They showed you the most horrifying up close video. Yeah. And I'm like,
I just remember the hair.
The hair.
I just remember the pubes.
The pubic hair.
That's the thing that
I was like, is that the
me.
baby or is that... Yeah, and
which like I had seen my mother naked, so I was familiar with pubes, but
it was a different kind of pube.
The only thing that I remember
that was a different level of
like
pube.
Pubes, and then like this opening of a head, and you're like, what?
Why are you getting eye level like that, my guy? Like, what
is the benefit here?
It's unflattering for everybody involved.
And who is that woman?
That poor woman.
I want to know
what the level of consent was.
Woman was. Oh,
did
there was
she
no consent.
know that is? I mean, even if you consent,
all of us.
Do you know that every middle school going to every middle schooler in a Jewish day school was going to see this video of this poor woman giving birth? And that was very effective abstinence education, I will say. I know that that's not what they were trying to do, but that made me like...
I think to a degree they were.
Ew. I mean, maybe that's
because as a little girl watching that, especially if you didn't know that that's how it happens. I mean, I don't remember too much, but like I'm thinking about my younger, but I was also always interested and curious about sex. So I don't think any of that, I know for sure none of that was a surprise.
Yeah.
But seeing it for the first time, I was more like, oh, look at that.
I like
to see things.
I remember thinking that babies were born out of the belly button.
Oh, precious.
Which is honestly more horrifying.
Yeah.
If you think about it. It's such a tiny little...
It's a smaller hole.
But it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the umbilical cord. I was like, that's how it happens. And so, I mean, I don't think I held that belief in middle school, but I do remember having that belief and being like utterly blown away. I was like, what do you mean? It's in the belly.
That makes sense.
Did you ever think that the baby came from anywhere else?
I don't think so, because when I was really young, so I shared a room with my brother until my sister moved out. She's way older than us. So she moved out, and then I got to take over her room, which was the big room. But then my brother lived downstairs. So like he won in the end. He always got the better rooms, except for that small period of time. But I would listen to reruns of Dr. Ruth, because she was already off air by this time. But like I would listen to reruns of Dr. Ruth, and then it was Dr. Drew and maybe Adam or something. I don't know, whatever. It was Loveline. So I would listen to Loveline like really late at night. everything in the dark, under my blanket, everything super low. I would watch real sex on HBO. Again, like brightness turned down, volume turned down, but I was just such a curious
Real
kid.
sex on HBO. What
Yes.
a throwback. Oh my God.
I don't even want to watch it again because I'm like, I have these vague memories of what I saw and I kind of don't want to ruin those.
Yeah, some things need to be left in the past. Yeah. It's like, just hold on to that feeling.
Exactly.
That like naughty little like girl being like, ooh, like I'm not supposed to watch this.
Well, and the funny thing is, one of the memories that I have, which like I don't even know if this was a real episode or not, maybe it's just in my memory, was of I would have to say it must have been like a tantra party or something like that, because I remember like silks on the ceiling, like these red and orange silks on the ceiling, and naked people and like breath work and things like that, and I was fucking fascinated. And fast forward to like, I'm a consent director for play parties, and literally these are the spaces that I work in. So yeah, it's that's what happened to me while production's been slow.
Oh, that's so sick. Oh my God. Yeah, that's amazing.
It is.
I mean, you should be so lucky to have your consent director also be an intimacy coordinator.
Yes.
Like what
so, I mean, that's why they hired me. They're like, he was like, actually, so this is the play is the one that I work for, but I was already doing workshops at another one because of what I do. When they wanted to do, I had already like done greeting at the door because my friend was like, you're an intimacy coordinator. You would make a great person to like welcome people into this space. I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll do that. And then like within a month or two, we opened up a different area. This one was for Lovely Fate, which is one of the organizations here. When they opened up a room and they wanted to start doing like intimacy, like something to help people meet each other, they were like, oh, well, you're an intimacy coordinator. Can you run this? So I ran that for 2 years.
So
and then I started working for the play, and they found me because of this show. I interviewed Michael, the owner, and which was very much like, I don't like when people come to me to be on the show, even though I understand that's like a whole part of it, but I'm very particular with who I have on the show. Like I need to know that like you're a safe person.
You have to like share names, and you have to also be a lefty, and you have to have a production company like that you're working towards building. Yeah. There's a lot. It's
actually very have gone to a Jewish day school and also
yes, it's a very high caliber.
Yeah, this is the entire show. But yeah, so we met, I had him on the show. And then after that, he was like, so wait, can you tell me more about your qualifications and like your certifications and what you were doing at Disney, which was not intimacy coordinating, but like I was involved in a lot of incident reports and like working in COVID.
I mean, Disney needs a little intimacy coordination. Let's be so for real.
Yeah. So that, like that's how I got the job and I became the consent director. He's like, oh, actually, I want you to come in and do this. And now I teach power dynamics workshops. I've created protocols for them because I'm like, y'all, there is a lot of room for people to do really bad things. Not saying that anybody would do it maliciously or purposely. Sometimes people can, but it's like, let's just go ahead and create some boundaries. Let's create some protocols.
When you were meeting people at the door and when you were kind of greeting people, did you find that people were coming in nervous? Or were they coming in confident? Like, what's I mean,
it's a mix.
I'm sure there's a range.
Yeah, there's definitely a range. A lot of people in these spaces at play parties in general, most of them that I know, I'm a remote consent director for Top Floor in New York as well. So most of them try to find a balance between 50% returning people so that there's like that community aspect. Also, people know the lay of the land. They know the consent rules. They know how things operate in these spaces. And 50% new people, because we want that new energy. We want people to be able to come in and enjoy the space and like bring their energy. And sometimes they come to the table with a lot of experience in the lifestyle, whether it's private parties or other parties, or just, being non-monogamous in their relationship. Yeah. Some people come with that experience, so they're like kind of confident, and other people, it's like the first time they're doing something like that, which is why the intimacy workshops that I was doing at Lovely Fate were so incredible and so important, because it gave I was helping people connect and meet each other and talk about kinks and talk about desires, but in a very structured way. Yeah. And for the play, it's an artist forward community. So we have like 2 to 4 hours, depending on the day, of like activations where you can like try different things. We have performances. We all gather together. Lovely Fate is everyone new gets the orientation. So like there's that aspect of it. And at the play, we gather the entire party together. It's more of like a long festival or experience type thing. So we gather everybody together. We have like an opening performance, an opening talk. I do the consent talk. So every single person in the space is hearing my talk. And because I'm a performer and like to be on theme, I will always theme that talk for like whatever it is. Because people, if you say the same thing, people don't hear it in the same way. And now I've been doing this for long enough. I've been there for like 2 years now. So now people are like, oh, what's her consent talk going to be this time?
Yeah.
How's she going to do it? What's the voice she's going to do? What are the, because I integrate different things on theme.
Yeah.
Because we have to keep people engaged.
Of
We
course.
have to, even if you've heard it a million times, you might hear something new. You might hear a phrase in a different way. So everybody comes in a little bit differently, but mostly the energy is just like excited to be in a safe space where they can explore themselves and know that you're not going to get groped.
Yeah.
You're not going to be judged. You're not going to be, it's just like, it's a very safe space to explore the sides of yourself that society tells you are wrong or that you're not allowed to explore.
Well, I was just curious because I feel like there's this perception, especially within kink play and within, just anything that's not traditional, like monogamous play, that there's a level of like confidence and certainty that comes with it. And I think that like the shyness and the curiosity is often downplayed.
Yeah.
And so that's really interesting that you are kind of trying to be that bridge in a way between people's curiosity and then exercising some of that autonomy.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And these are spaces where, I mean, unless you've worked with an intimacy coordinator, you're probably not talking too much about your boundaries. Like kink and kink play and BDSM have really paved the way in terms of consent conversations and consent practices, because we have to have certain conversations in order to understand what is this scene we're creating. I created a whole, I don't sell it because I don't want to sell things. It is available though. But I created a whole program called Fuck Like the Movies, because the idea was like, what if we just approach sex the way that we approach filmmaking? So there's the green, like I literally have the 8 modules mapped out in terms of a production. So there's the green light, development, pre-production, production, post-production, and the sequel.
Oh,
so it's like,
I love that.
thepleasureproducer.com/fuck. It's super cheap now because I'm like, it exists.
Yes, if you can remember that, that's thepleasureproducer.com/fuck.
Without because censorship.
Fuck. thepleasureproducer.com/fuck.
Oh my God. But yeah, I mean.
What are we talking about?
Who fucking knows? We're talking about everything.
It's actually who fucking knows.
Who fucking knows?
I'm sorry. This has gotten so stupid.
Welcome to the show. This is what we do here.
Oh my God.
I always say this is a show. This is a sex education show for people who don't like sex education shows. Like when I think about the life and where I want this to be, it's like, no, we belong in a comedy network. I don't want to be on a sex network.
No,
I don't want to
be fun and funny.
Yeah. Like if you don't like listening to sex ed podcasts, listen to this show. Watch this show. It's going to be sneaky.
Well, that's why you're meant to giggle. You're meant to have fun with it. It's like
sex is weird, man.
I also find it so funny how little of laughter you usually see in a sex scene. It's like if you haven't had a little giggle while you're fucking, you're clearly not trying things.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got to have a laugh about it.
Yeah. A queef is hilarious.
Oh my God. A queef is so funny.
A queef is the best,
man. And if you don't laugh, you will die of embarrassment.
Yeah.
So you have to laugh.
Yeah.
Period.
Because you know what? There's nowhere for the air to go. Okay.
It's not your fault, okay?
Yeah.
That you are turned on and
you're pushing air.
The air
coming out.
is gonna come out.
You know?
It's gonna go somewhere.
It's a cavern in there, y'all.
Yes.
If air's going in, it's got to come back out.
A beautiful singing cavern.
Delightful cavern that if you take the time to turn on right, does in fact become a cavern. But if you don't take that time, she stays small.
And then that's like what is it called when people do the I'm trying to think of what it's called, where they go like caverning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And they do it like underwater.
Oh,
and
people like go through like the tiny hole.
People fucking die down there.
They die down there. You don't want to die down there. Take your time.
The time. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
We are saving lives here.
Saving lives.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm like, where does this go at Disney? I'm like,
yeah, Disney Plus.
Yes, Disney Plus, catch it.
Yeah, they definitely want this show.
DisneyPlus.com/pleasureproducer.com/book.
Yeah. I love the ridiculousness of this, which is fun. But sex is fun and it is funny and it is silly. And like, we got to be able to laugh about this stuff. And I think, I know when I grew up, everything did feel so serious. And part of it was because our sex education was like, you're going to get pregnant, you're going to die, you're going to have, like, we would see these images.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because I was looking it up or because I was shown it. Because I've looked up everything, and I did that as a kid too. Like,
Yeah.
We had encyclopedias in my house. I was looking everything up. Like, it was actually in my room because I had
Really?
the bookcases in my room. So we had all of the encyclopedias. So like, I could look up whatever I wanted all the time. It was great.
Oh my God.
And
we lived in very different households, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also a lot older than you. So like, the internet was not a thing until I was in junior high or high school or something like that.
Yeah.
So
our version of looking things up was in the internet age. It was still dial up. I'm not that young, but it was still like, that's how you would look things up. You weren't looking in the encyclopedia.
My shit was published probably in the 80s. I don't even know, so, but a lot of it again was like, there's so much fear mongering and seriousness, and like, to be sexy, you have to be serious. But to your point of how are people showing up in the space, confidence is what's sexy.
Yeah.
Communication is what's sexy.
Yeah.
Hearing somebody say, fuck yes, I want to do that, or fuck yeah, I want you to do that. Like, that is so hot.
Being vocal. Yeah. We do like vocal.
Yeah.
And
do.
And I think that I think that like that is quantifiably such a turn on for women specifically, and people with like uteruses in general. I know that like everybody, engages with dirty talk in some way or another, but like I noticed that for women, it comes up a lot because we are not like conditioned in our society to be vocal about certain things, like what we like and what we don't like. And so when there's that permission to just be like out loud about it, that is a very special thing. That is also a safety that it's hard to build.
Yeah.
And I think when you feel safe to do something like that, like fuck yes or no, and your no is heard.
Yes.
That is, I think it's part of the reason that like a lot of women engage with maybe what some would describe as smutty books.
Oh yeah, smutty books, Dipsy, like the stories. And that also comes to like hearing it as well. And I know for me, when I'm with a man and I hear that like a deep rumbly voice, like it's like sound healing, y'all. Like when you're at a sound bath and the gong keeps going and then you're like, oh, I feel that gong in my soul. Like that is some men's voices. I had an ex that, I mean, we had incredible chemistry and like the sex was I've never had sex like that in my life still. And I have great sex. Sometimes two people are just like, oh, these two bodies were literally created to do this thing. How lucky are we that we found each other for a period of time to do that? But as part of that, it was also his voice. And so like, I would sometimes I'll just hear his voice and it would happen. But like, especially in those moments, just hearing the sound quality of his voice would like tap into something in me, which is how sound healing works. So there's also something to be said, because I can hear other people's voices and that will also turn me off.
Well, I was going to say I've left several dates when
100%.
I just heard their voice and it just wasn't it for me.
Yeah.
And it's less about looks, but the voice is something that can get you like out of it pretty quickly. And I mean, I have a pretty deep voice also. Like when I was a kid, I was accused of being a smoker.
Oh my God.
When I was like a child. Like, and they're like,
you got time for me on the slide.
No, literally. And so I appreciate a deep voice.
Yeah.
And I appreciate a voice in general that's like a radio voice, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody's got like too nasally, and that can be controlled, guys. That's not like you're not born with it. Like you can obviously, like some people have like tighter nasal passages than others, but like you can control where the breath comes from, and
you can train your voice to sound in different ways. Look at actors, look at trans people.
You can absolutely like adjust, but I think that like that a nasally, like not confident voice can take me out of it very quickly.
Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, So, and I want to be very clear, like, I am not saying that trans people are acting. I said actors and trans people because actors have to do that for characters that they play. And people who are transitioning genders will go through voice therapy so that they can help express themselves in
quite
a way
literally
that feels,
find their voice.
Literally find their voice.
Yeah.
Because when you grow up in a body that's not yours, it's confusing and you're like shifting yourself and you're trying to maybe fit into society, but not. Like there's so much healing in just literally finding your voice and learning how to speak with your body in a way that feels alignment with who you actually are.
Yeah.
So I want to be very clear that I was not comparing those things, but saying that both of those situations are where vocal training comes in handy and you can really support yourself. But that being said, there are also like some people, like some men, for example, because I'm attracted to masculine, like mask. So like the men that I'm attracted to are mask. And I'm also attracted to very feminine women too. But also mask women. So like it kind of depends.
That's where I thought you were going with that. I was like, and mask, and it doesn't matter what you're carrying, but some mask energy can be,
that it is because it's that container, right? But I am also a very masculine person. And I think that is like the producer in me, like that's, it's a very masculine role. ADing can be a very masculine role. I think when we put the feminine into it, that's where it becomes like, we fucking elevate some shit. But also growing up in production, like I have masculine energy. And so when I'm around certain women, now I feel like I'm the caretaker. And so like, that's a context where it's like that softer voice, that more feminine voice, like that more feminine energy is something that I would be more attracted to. Yeah. But that's a different energy. Cause now I'm like, oh, I want to give you this experience versus like, I'm baby girl, like, and mask babe will do that.
And it depends on the day. Like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm just a girl. Like I'm a little girl. But sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I'm just a little guy. Yeah. Like I'm just a little guy out here trying to like do the thing today. Yeah. And it just depends. And it's why I feel like every time I say like as women, I also am like rolling my eyes because it's like, I feel like that's how I am today. And then the next day I'm like, just as little guys.
Just a little guy.
Just as little guys. Like, yeah. And I also had a conversation with a friend of mine. He's a DP. He is a man, or at least he like uses he, him pronouns, and he was assigned male at birth.
Socialized, yeah.
And I was like, as a man, and he goes, no, I'm a guy. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, I'm a guy. I'm not a man.
I like that.
I'm a guy. Yeah. And I was like, fair enough. Like, and I'd never heard a guy say that. And I loved it. And now, there's something about it. Like, I think that man holds a lot of stuff.
It does.
Yeah.
And it holds like expectation, but it also holds guilt and shame too. Yeah. Like there's and layers of patriarchy and harm,
control,
and power, and like
it's harmful for everybody. Like
Agreed.
You heard it here first. The patriarchy hurts everyone.
First time ever said out
Who
loud.
Who thought it?
Wow. Exclusive. AZ News.
It's actually a whole network now. It's news.
Yes.
It's
this show.
There's a store.
We do sell dildos.
There you go. It just says like AZ on the top.
Ariel. And depending on your size, it has the L and an E or just the L.
Or just the L. You don't have to be a size queen. It's okay.
We don't. I always say I'm a size queen in the direction you're not thinking I am. Not a small one. I'm a Goldilocks, I like a very specific size and girth.
Goldilocks.
Yes. I sometimes I'll joke that I'm Cinderella's slipper. Just looking for the right foot.
I mean, Cinderella's slipper, though, was famously tiny. Like, if you...
I'm just a guy.
Just a guy looking for a tiny little slipper.
Not tiny. Just like a very specific size.
With a very specific curve.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Maybe a freckle.
Oh, we do love a cute little freckle.
We love a freckle.
Yeah.
We love a freckle.
It is really fun. Now that we're talking about dicks, it is really fun.
Dicks?
Dicks?
We're talking about dicks?
What?
Oh, God.
My goodness, what kind of a show is this?
Whores, all of you.
It is the year of the whores.
Oh,
nay.
oh, nay. Oh my God, bro, that's funny.
Oh my God. I don't even know what oh no,
You were
just
saying,
like
speaking of dicks.
Yeah, the fun thing
get
about
you back
a
on
penis.
track.
Yeah,
Speaking of
thank you.
penises,
I
yes.
appreciate you.
Peni.
Speaking of peni, it is fun to like have it be flaccid and then like you discover, like there's discovery.
Oh,
when it
I love
stretches
a grower,
out.
not a shower.
You know?
I do love
you
a
get
grower.
to see like the skin tone and like
Sure.
if there are freckles, the size, the
Sure.
curve, the veins, like they're also different and special, just like vulvas.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
so silly when they're
There's
just
no one
hanging
way to
around.
look. There's no one way to be.
You know?
Yeah.
We're all so special.
Yeah. And I think it depends. Like, I think some people have preferences. I've always been very driven by the person it's attached to.
Yes.
Like, the genitalia has never quite been the thing for me because I've done the casual sex thing.
Not great.
It's fine. I find that like I do need that emotional connection and I need some kind of chemistry.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, I also need your voice to sound sexy.
That's it, you know?
And that's
I need
kind
your
of
dick
the
to be
magic.
right size.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm very demi. Like it is funny because people who work in sex and sexuality, there is this idea that we're like hypersexual and always having sex. And that's not the case with most people that are my colleagues, whether they're intimacy coordinators, sex coaches, therapists, whatever. Like we're for sure not having more sex. Some people are, but we're having better sex. And that's the difference.
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity.
That is something I have learned in my years. Cause I've been in a relationship for 7 years.
Yeah.
Like we just celebrated our 7-year anniversary.
Yay!
And it was a thing for me about like we need to be having as much sex as possible because I think I was taught in some way or another that is how you solidify a relationship is quantity, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, and people still do it. I mean, if you are a Love Island girly, like you'll watch it and they'll be like, how many people have you had sex with?
Oh my God.
How many times a week do you ideally want to have sex? And very rarely is it like, how good is the sex?
Yeah.
How would you rate the sex that you've had, you know? And it's only in the last like few years as I felt more safe in my relationship that I've allowed to like, I've let go of some of that like quantity.
Yeah.
And now it's a lot more about like, yeah, but how fun was the sex? How satisfying was it?
Yeah.
You know? And I'd rather have like more satisfying sex than like more sex. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think that comes with comfort in a relationship if you're lucky and you're having these conversations and you're watching this show. But it also comes with age too.
Yeah.
Because the older you get, like you get busy, you get tired. And then if the sex that you're having is like, it's not good. I had so much sex when I was younger and like it mostly sucked. Like it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
And part of it is because all of us had terrible sex education. And part of it was because I didn't know it could be better. Like I knew that other people were having a better time.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I must be broken. And to be fair, I was eating, like my diet was not conducive to what my body actually needs. So a part of it was the foods that I was putting in my body and the functionality and all of that. And the other part of it was like, I was also focused more on like quantity of experiences and, you know, not necessarily, I wasn't like trying to bang everybody or anything like that, but it was just like, it wasn't so much about, well, how do I make this better? How do I build on something? How do I create better experiences, more fulfilling experiences, more satisfying, more expansive, more adventurous? And that doesn't mean just like, oh yeah, we fucked outside. Like that's not it. It's more of like, this is a desire. Let's go on an adventure to unravel what that is, why I like it, what we need to make it good, to make it happen. Great prep, excellent production, y'all. It always comes to that for me is like, you know, like do your homework, do the prep work. And then when you're there, it's great. You can pivot, you know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, and I also question, I would never question, you know, there's nothing wrong with having sex with a lot of people or having sex with like less people. That is, you know, to each their own. But I do question when people, I mean, I hear this mostly from men where they think about it like a notch on their belt.
Oh, God.
And they're like, I've had sex with like 200 people, right?
And you've only made one come.
Exactly. Well, it's like you're trying to move, like, did you ever think that maybe the reason for that is because you are not doing anything different? Like, you're not trying that much. You're kind of just doing the same thing over and over with different people.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you have real chemistry, if it's actually like something that is not like, because there is something to be said for an amazing one night stand. Some people like ships passing in the night. Like, there is something to that.
Magic can happen in those circumstances. It's
Absolutely.
just not that often.
But it's not every time.
Yeah.
So if you take the time to get to know your partner and actually like engage with some of those questions and that laughter and that discomfort, you can have better sex than the people who are like, I've had sex with 150 people, because I question how satisfying that actually is.
Absolutely. And maybe,
at least for your partners.
Yeah,
I don't know
about
about
that's
you.
what I was going to say. Like,
for your partners.
For the person with a penis, like, sex has, for most of our existences, been prioritized as penis gets hard, penis goes in vagina, penis comes.
That's over.
Sex.
Yeah.
That's not sex.
Yeah.
That is one way to engage in sex. That is one sexual activity.
Yeah.
But that is not sex.
Yeah.
That's just an activity. And so when we can redefine what sex actually is, because not everyone has a penis, not everyone likes a penis, they're still having sex. So a penis is never required for sex. Also, there are like medical issues and health concerns and things that happen that make some men unable to use their penises. Or maybe you have a micro penis and that's a real thing. I think that may have been one of the stories that I pulled, and maybe that's why I said that. But,
check out the Patreon.
Yeah, check out the Patreon. We are going to shift into that because it is time. Although we have a little bit of time because part of that was me running around with Rosie there. But it is, and here's the thing that I was going to bring up too, because people in the lifestyle are having more experiences that are requiring conversations, and it tends to be a community of people who are more skilled at these things because it is an interest. And that's not necessarily to say like people who are non-monogamous are better at sex. That's not what I'm saying. But people who engage actively in the lifestyle and are like, they are non-monogamous. They go to play parties. They are also tend to be people who are learning more. They're going to workshops. They're reading books. They have a genuine interest in pleasure and kink and sex and emotional intelligence and conversations. And it's all of those things that make for better sexual experiences, whether you're kinky or non-monogamous or not. It's that curiosity and that learning.
I mean, non-monogamy is a full-time thing, because it's the required communication is so much more in so many ways than a monogamous relationship. And that is, it's tricky and it's messy and it's a minefield of emotions. And I think that people who navigate it deftly, I feel like we often hear about people who are navigating it poorly or taking advantage of emotions and calling yourself non-monogamous when you're really just being unethical. And I think that like you hear about that stuff because it's louder, but the people who navigate it ethically are doing a lot of fucking talking.
Yeah. Like it's a lot of talking.
It's a lot of talking. Scheduling, thinking, like therapy, doing the work. Like there's a lot to it. So, I think that like anybody who I know who's doing that kind of thing in a, responsible and thoughtful way is like 10 years ahead in therapy than most people ever give them credit for.
Yeah, I agree. And yes, there are definitely a lot of problematic people who like to say, oh, I'm poly, I'm non-monogamous, but like, no, you're just an asshole. And please don't use that you are this relationship style or dynamic, because you're not, because it does require the work. It does require such high level of communication and consent. And a lot of the people that are just like, oh yeah, I'm poly, or like they're behaving in non-consensual ways. So like we don't fucking count that. But I say often that like monogamous people can be lazy because you are faced with so many things in non-monogamy that you can ignore in a monogamous relationship. You should not, the best way to do it is going to be to have that same level of communication, that same level of ongoing communication, not just when there's something wrong, and curiosity for each other, and empathy, and therapy, and emotional, like doing the reading, doing the work. Like, in order to be in relationship with another human, you got to do the work. You can get away with not doing it in monogamy, which I think for me is part of why I like non-monogamy, because it forces us to do the work. And it's like, it's kind of already in the system of it.
Yeah.
You know,
my sister-in-law, her name's Dahlia Perez. She's an incredible sex and relationship and intimacy therapist and coach.
I would love to have her on.
She's wonderful. She lives in Oaxaca in Mexico.
That's
so
awesome.
Might need to be a virtual.
Well, yeah, we do remote.
Tune in.
Yeah.
She's
How
incredible.
fun.
I've had her on The Sex Scene, the show that I told you about.
Yes,
but like,
yes.
It's the show that my friend Daryl and I did, and creative partner and creator of CNT, which is, CNT Productions. It's all that missing is the you. And we had this whole conversation about this. I'm not sure if it made it on the show, but Dahlia has always pointed out to me that a relationship can have a door that opens and closes.
Yeah.
That just because you're stepping into non-monogamy doesn't mean that that's permanently where you're at.
Yeah.
And just because you are protecting the relationship and going into a more monogamous place doesn't mean you're never going to open that door again. And I think that like that's also the thing to remember is that it's an impermanent, it doesn't have to be a permanent status. Some people know. Some people are like, I am non-monogamous through and through, and that's my life.
Yeah.
And I admire that.
Yeah.
And I think it's also okay if you need that safety to be like, we need to be more in connection with each other, and we need to close that door. And we're feeling really confident and good in ourselves, and now it's okay to open it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm very pro if you are looking to be primary partners. I am very pro just closing it down for a certain period of time. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's a year, whatever works for you. But I'm very pro, if this is the decision that we're going to make and we're going to be primary partners. Granted, if you have ongoing relationships with other people, that is very hard. I'm not saying break up with someone for 3 months so you could focus on that person if you were in like a valid, it's more of like if you're dating around and you don't have multiple ongoing committed partnerships. I'm very pro, like, let's just focus on this foundation for a short period of time. And then because you're going to have to rebuild that relationship. Relationships are a co-creation, especially in non-monogamy. So let's just like focus here for a second. Doesn't have to be long, but let's just focus in here so that we can co-create what we want this to look like with other partners in the future and in all these different circumstances. And I'm very pro intimacy meetings, which is just like your ongoing intimacy meeting. You got to have those production meetings, like not when something is wrong, but just like conversations that you already know you're going to have. What's working? What's not working? What do we want to grow with? What do we want to do together? Like, what are our goals? Just that time that's not escalating. You don't have to ask your partner. You don't have to say, we have to talk. Like, we don't have to do any of that. We can just have these ongoing meetings that it's like, oh yeah, it's the third Sunday of every month.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
It's dedicated time that we're going to talk about our shit.
Yeah.
And
we call it our relationship summit.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
And we take notes.
Yes.
And the thing that you have to also remember is there's got to be different meetings, like the logistics meeting, because you can't just be roommates. And there are things, especially when you live with somebody, there are things that you have to address that are not sexy.
Yes, absolutely.
And that needs to be a very separate
Those are the production meetings and then the intimacy meetings.
That's
why I call them intimacy meetings, because I'm like, it's specifically about your relationship.
Yes.
Not about the bills, not about who's picking up what, literally just about your intimacy and just about the pieces of your relationship. Yeah. And celebrate. Like, you got to celebrate what's good. Yeah. That's, I think, what a lot of people are missing is like, what's going well?
Yeah. Well, like, that's what we all need more of. If we're rooted in gratitude, if we're rooted in a place of like what's going right instead of what's going wrong, we can bring more of that in.
Agreed.
But when you start from a place of what's wrong, what's missing, our minds don't know the difference between like when we fantasize about stuff and we're like, this is, what I want, and you're going after these like big lofty dreams, you can kind of lose the thread of it because it's like you are disappointed because you never got it. You
Yeah.
never had it. But if you start from a place of this is what I have that I like and I want more of that, I do think that it's a little easier to find what you are like actually dreaming about from that perspective. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's also, I think, reflecting where your partner has grown is a really beautiful thing too. And just to say like, hey, last time we talked, we wanted to work on this, or I know that you've been working on this in your life. And I just want to hold up a mirror and say like, great job. I'm really impressed, or I'm really proud of you, or just like taking that moment, especially if you talked about a challenge and then your partner and you, like you can celebrate both of you, but also celebrating how your partner has shifted a behavior if that was part of what you were both working on, or all of you were working on if it's more than one person. But like celebrating that part specifically, because the work is hard. Being in relationship is hard. Shifting your behaviors, shifting your mindset, showing up for yourself and for your partner in a different way is hard. So I think there's also this aspect of recognizing the work that we're doing and celebrating that specifically.
Yeah.
Of like, great job, kid.
It's giving positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Like,
I love to be a good girl.
Just call me daddy.
Yes, daddy. Oh my God. Wait, hang on. I have something for you.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. What am I about to get?
Well, you can't keep it because I worked on it, but.
Let me see. Oh my God.
Okay.
Cut to.
Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta get bigger wires next time. Wait, is it gonna? Okay, I'm so used to doing it my way. Okay. Thank you, Daddy.
Thanks for coming on the show, Daddy.
Oh, that's great. And with that, I think we're going to shift into Reddit stories.
Yeah, totally.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the titles that I pulled.
Okay.
Maybe we have time to do 3. Usually we have time to do 2.
Sure.
We're going to see what happens, but I'm going to read and then you get to choose which one you want to start with.
I'm very excited about this. I watch these kinds of things on TikTok all the time.
It's so fun.
And I love it.
It's so fun.
And I'm like, ooh, like go to part 2. Like I'm always I love this shit so much.
Okay.
All right. What did you find?
The first one is, am I the asshole for getting aggressive towards my mother after she made fun of my penis size? So maybe that was why it's on my brain.
Huh. Wait, do I judge just off the title? Or are you going to read the context?
So I'm going to read the titles.
Because I'm like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Like, be nice to your mother. She won't be around forever.
Your mother made that penis.
Can you tell I'm a nice Jewish girl who like calls her mother every day?
I did speak to my parents today, but they called me. Okay, no, so we're going to read the titles because this is all going to be on the main feed.
Yes.
And then people are going to learn where to find you, and then we're going to hop over there to Patreon. So head over to Patreon.
So take back my answer. I haven't said yet if they are or not. Or
maybe it changes when we
hear this full story. Actually, yeah.
Okay, so that's one of them.
Okay.
Another one is, I caught my sister-in-law trying to damage my wedding dress, and I don't think I'll ever see her the same way again. Although that one, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, that's not really a relationship one, but it kind of is. I think it was the wedding dress
damaging
the drama of it all. I was like, I don't know, man. I got to read that.
I've been a maid of honor many times, and I have strong feelings about these things. And like, I feel like the bride is the president.
Yes.
And I am your secret service, and I will body a bitch.
Yes.
If you try to fuck with the bride on that day.
100%.
I feel strong feelings about this. The girls who I've been your bridesmaids, you get it. You know how I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think we're going to read that one.
I think we know exactly where I'm going to land on this.
We know where that's going. I want to know what the fuck she was doing to the dress.
Yeah, seriously.
And then the last one I pulled is, my 28 female boyfriend, 26 male, went through my phone while we were having sex. I would like to know the logistics of that.
What kind of sex were you having?
Right? Like from behind or something?
Yeah,
like,
I would think.
What's happening there?
Oh my God.
So before we go to Patreon, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. I'm at Ariel Zucker. I am also www.arielzucker.com if you ever want to get in touch. I'll admit, if you DM me on Instagram, it will take me 7 to 8 business days to get back to you.
Unless your name is Ariel Zeta.
Then I get back to you immediately.
Yeah, it's a club. club.
It's true.
It's true.
But yeah, you can find me on my site. You also can find some of the work that I've done on @I'mARealCNT, which is a production company that we have built, and some of the old episodes of the sex scene and other things. We're on YouTube. I'm a Real CNT or CNT Productions, like youtube.com/CNT Productions.
Oh my God.
So you can find a whole lot of our stuff there. And yeah, you can find me anywhere, really.
I'm so excited to look that up personally. So
Yay!
that's exciting.
It's a fun show.
And also, by the time this comes out, Make Some Noise is for sure going to be on Dropout. You just finished filming that.
Well, the most recent season is still dropping, and then I believe the next season.
Okay, so maybe not yet, but sign up now anyway.
Yeah, but you can find a lot of the stuff that I've produced on Dropout.tv. I produced Make Some Noise. I've also produced a season of Ify Nwadiwe's Actually. I did the second season of Very Important People, and so you can find a lot of that stuff over there.
Yay! Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for answering my DM.
Oh, my
Although
pleasure.
I think I was like all up in the comments first, because as soon as I found you, I was like, what?
No, I think you straight up emailed me, and I was
I
like,
might have.
you know how people are like, don't email me. I'm like, please email me, because that's, as a producer, where I'm going to see it first.
I agree.
And I was like, I'm obsessed.
Everywhere else.
Everything you wrote, I was like, is this me? Did I write myself an email?
Yes, I know. And then,
in the dead of night.
I know. I am actually you. Spoiler.
Oh my God. You're so pretty.
I know. We are gorgeous. We are.
We really are.
Well, you can find me at Birds and Bees Don't Fuck Without the U, because censorship is real. And if you can spell my name, that's my Instagram. Good luck. Follow me there. And you can email me, because that's where I'm for sure going to see it. Oh, and Rosie has some thoughts too. Rosie, we're going to have to wait for a little bit. But we'll see you over on Patreon. But thank you for coming. I hope you come again and again and again and again.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Later.
Bye.